Creationists love to blame Nazism on Darwin. They say that Darwinism was the basis for Nazi eugenics. They even use this to argue against the idea of evolution. This, of course, is retarded because for one thing it's not true, and for another, even if it were true, it would be an ad hominem. Even if Nazi eugenics was based on Darwinism, that wouldn't make Darwinism incorrect. Although some people believe that eugenics is based in Darwinian ideas, in fact it is not based in Darwinism. Rather, it is based on the principles of selective breeding. The idea that you could selectively breed an organism to either enhance or diminish certain features is not an idea that Darwin came up with. People have known that you can do this for thousands of years. Many times in The Origin of Species, Darwin talks about all of the research that's already been done in the field of selective breeding. At one point he writes, "The principle of selection I find distinctly given in an ancient Chinese encyclopedia. Explicit rules are laid down by some of the Roman classical writers. From passages in Genesis, it is clear that the color of domestic animals was at that early period attended to." I think Darwin is referring here to Genesis chapter 30. In that chapter, Jacob agrees to take Laban's black, speckled, and less desirable sheep as a payment. But then he performs selective breeding on the sheep so that his flock ends up stronger and fitter than Laban's. Whenever the stronger of the flock were mating, Jacob would place the rods in the sight of the flock in the gutters so that they might mate by the rods. But when the flock was feeble, he did not put them in, so the feebler were Laban's and the stronger were Jacob's. So the man became exceedingly prosperous, and he had large flocks and female and male servants and camels and donkeys. There you go, eugenics. In the Bible. So if you want to blame eugenics on a text, you should blame it on one of the earlier texts that talks about selective breeding, which, ironically enough, includes the very book held sacred by those accusing Darwin of coming up with the idea. The other irony, of course, is that this accusation often comes from Christian Republicans. They argue that if you teach evolution, then people will believe that the weaker among us, those less capable of contributing to society, should be taken out of the gene pool, just like in Nazi Germany. And then those same people will go to their Republican Party rallies and scream about how we shouldn't tax productive millionaires in order to feed the children of lazy welfare bums who contribute nothing to society, because then they'll just have even more children. Yeah, they really sound like people who are against eugenics.